battles waged and fought through victory and pain. By test of their courage, our freedom was gained. In homage to those gone before us, the heroes of lands in the sun, we vow to join hands and to focus on building one Caribbean. Raise your voices high, sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong, feel our hearts beat as one.
Welcome, brothers, welcome, sisters, welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, as soon as we start this program, you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything: politics, religion, socio-economic issues, or any topical issue trending. And you can immediately pick up your telephone and give us a call. The number to call is 442-0175. And you could interrupt us at any time. We take calls. And what we speak about today while we wait on your call. As we say, we express our opinion on almost any issue that we feel comfortable with. And our opinions are not cast in stone. So if we have new information, we change in our opinion. I'm reacting to a caller a couple of days ago. I might have said something about 8, 9, 10, 11 years. I can't remember exactly what age I started at. When marijuana is legalized, could be selling weed in school. The caller takes strong objection to that. So before I start on marijuana legalization in the Caribbean, there are a lot of people in Grenada that prefer not to hear the truth. They want you to agree with what they believe in. But when these things happen in the schoolhouse, I prefer to talk about it. So if we have children, and remember in primary school today, children don't remain as long as before. I think by 11 to the age 12, they would do common entrance or the examination that takes them to secondary school, 10, 11, 12. So you have some boys, 8, 9, 10, 11, that are involved in selling food-grade substance to the children anyway under 2, under 5 or 7 years. They sell food-grade substance to the children. They're running a business. They're making money. So they buy these packets of food-grade substance, and most of them is under $5. It is in a concentrated form. And they're selling it in the schoolhouse by the lick. So the little ones, they pour a little bit in their hand and they pay 25 cents a lick. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Already school children are selling marijuana. It's already been done. It's illegal and it has been done. So when it becomes legal, it's gonna become more expansive. So who don't like to hear that? Deal with the truth. Thank you.
Yes, I think sometimes some parents don't know. And a lot of parents don't know that their children was purchasing food-grade substance. It's not illegal. It's not illegal. Well, there are instances where the teacher say, "Oh, you mustn't do that. Don't do that." But I never heard it from any teacher. I hear it from the girls their age, discouraging the boys not to sell this thing for the children. I'm talking about the 8, 9, 10-year-old encouraging the boys not to sell it for the younger boys. It's not girls that involve it. So when you have a nice 5-6-year-old in school, sometimes he is already taking a concentrate, a legal concentrate, and he paying 25 cents by the lick. And the boy is making money. So I always encourage parents, hold discussion with your children about anything and listen to them. And I know it's difficult. It's very difficult for us as elders to listen sometimes. We have to plan to. But if you're constant in dialogue, it's a new culture. It's a culture that you have to inculcate. To have family discussion on issues and give the young ones a chance to talk. Sometimes you never believe. You're a nice young child that praying for God to come in the church every day and know the Bible inside out is already purchasing food grade substance in his hand by the lick. And because it is in a concentrated form, it could become addictive, or it could be on the road to addiction. You have some countries where people inhale contact cement glue. It's not against the law. It's legal. But it is causing serious addiction. Some people inhale gas to get a high. It's not illegal. But it adds to some of the social decadence in society. Dry juice is not illegal, but some people fear that. So we have to be careful. Now, marijuana will be legalized in Grenada. Throughout the Caribbean, Jamaica, Barbados, Antigua, Barbuda has legalized marijuana for medicinal purposes. Some countries, as Trinidad and Tobago, are considering legalization. The previous government introduced a bill in Parliament for the discussion of legalization for medical purpose or greater liberalization of marijuana. This present government, I guess they have already had discussion while in opposition, because they said they would legalize marijuana. Not for medicinal purpose. They say legalize it. I know all them Rasta man God, they jumping up. Because they have lobbied the system for years. Legalize it. A Rasta man asked me a few days ago, what happened when they legalized it? What happened to all the Rasta men that go in jail? I said, when you went in jail, was it legal? He said, no. I said, well, don't bother with that. Make sure when it is legal, you don't send you in jail for it. And it's only a matter of time. Whether we legalize for medicinal purpose, as Jamaica and Barbados and Antigua and St. Vincent, or whether we legalize, we will have to make, people will want to make money from it. Remember, Grenada is in a better position than St. Vincent and Jamaica and Trinidad, because we have the most landowners in the region. And when you legalize it, people with land going to plant weed. And if a man could buy a vehicle for $150,000 in Grenada, and some people have 2-3 vehicles in their yard, nothing is wrong in investing $250,000 in your marijuana field. And obviously, we're going to use it for medicinal purpose, because we could make marijuana to sap we need. We could make fudge. And this is the one that is interesting. And there could be serious consequences for the children in school. Because some people who are accustomed eating fudge the children is already accustomed with it. And they know what quantity of marijuana forged to eat. But in the schoolhouse, if you pretend dotish, if you play your dotish, and you don't take a serious look at it, your children may start to eat fudge that is distributed as sold in school. And it has consequences. Sometimes you might make them smarter. Then Rasta man say, weed does give you heights and give you meditation, so you might see God quicker. But medical doctors also claim that it could have effect on the young minds and cause it to be sleepy. In fact, marijuana food, we may be able to go in restaurants and purchase a plate of food with marijuana. If it is legal, it's legal. Because that is what our leaders say he's going to legalize it. And I would grow it. As soon as they legalize it, I grow it. But it's important for parents to understand that the children, the young minds, have to be protected. Already we see in our attitude in our country, an attitude of a kind of lackadaisical, don't-care attitude where children are concerned. Big people just take their problem and use children as a means to the end. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, my dear.
Yeah, good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Long time I call you.
Yes, it's a good while I didn't hear.
On Sunday before I had 75 years of age.
That is a significant point in a man's life.
Yes, you
75 years.
You know what brings me to that 75 years of age? You know what they call fit? You ever hear about fit?
Sit?
Fit.
Sip?
Fit.
Oh,
A disease.
okay. Alright, okay.
Some of them people, they falling down. They beating up. But I didn't know.
Oh, fits.
Yes,
Yeah,
fit.
Yeah.
At the age of 14. Oh, God. My grandmother, she watched me. Oh, God, she don't know what to do. I couldn't take education, so much education in school, especially when full moon. When the moon coming up, that is the time they sit sitting and lie down on the ground. My grandmother, they over me, she wailing as if I go dead that day. Thanks of a Rasta. When the Rasta hear my grandmother bawl, so he say nobody. He go inside. He say, Mother, mommy, what happened to you? My grandmother, my child almost dying on the ground there. Your child almost dying on the ground there. I go bring something to you tomorrow to give her to drink.
And he brings some weed.
Marijuana.
Yeah.
That killed me.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
So
telling you a lie.
So you have some testimony that is good.
From 14 years. 14 years I'm telling you, know. 14 years I had.
So how did you consume it? By the drink?
Drink.
You drink it.
The root.
The root. Okay.
Yes. He bring a set of root from
So that means when he legalize, I'm going to consider that making a drink of the root.
Yeah, you could drink, you could make tea if you had a cold, you drink it.
When you pull up in the shop, you could get a cup of coffee. Well, we drink coffee now.
Right.
But we'll get a hot cup of marijuana. Because once it is legalized, we must make money for it.
Right now I have some in my fridge. I bought it.
You don't legalize yet, so don't say that.
Especially
You can't say that yet. Wait, nobody don't hear that. You can't say that yet. Because he ain't legalized yet. Wait till he legalize. Yeah, don't make that joke at all. Because we on the
my
media.
Brother, that is a very, very cure.
Right. So yeah.
My grandmother, I tell you, my grandmother ball that day.
Yes.
Is thank God. But God that come down on the earth, God that send that Rasta on the earth to cure me.
Well, yes, all of us is God children. You know.
Right.
Sometimes when we vex with one another for religious, political, or social
Whatever it
reasons,
is.
but all of us are God children.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Rasta is Jatu.
Yes.
Yes.
So my dear brother,
Thank you very
must
much.
drink it now and then you must drink a little water.
Yes, thank you very
I
much.
tell you that.
I'm
I
waiting-
am 75 years.
I'm waiting till illegal. I don't have no time with police. I'm waiting when illegal and I'm starting to make drink and sell.
Yeah, those police don't.
You never could tell. Dog luck is not cat luck.
You have a very and a
Thank
wonderful
you.
day. Bless
Thank you
and
very
bless
much.
you.
And good to
Bye-bye.
hear your voice. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So stay away from the marijuana. All know it is not legal yet. Don't jump the gun. Yeah. But we must be serious. One of my brothers from the Facebook in Canada, in the indigenous community, sniffing of gas and glue and other household items is used to get a high, and it is a huge problem. Now, Grenada have one of the better crime rate in the Caribbean. Our police, we doesn't give people credit here. We have an attitude, we're running down everybody. We run down the Ministry of Health. We run down Marketing Board. We run down the police. Yes, we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome. Yes, caller, punch. All right, we lost that caller. So our police have been doing an exceptionally good job because they're able to maintain the crime level in Grenada at a comparatively lower level than the rest of the Caribbean. In St. Lucia today, St. Lucia to call for SSU, the regional SSU, to help St. Lucia down with crime. In Grenada, our policemen should be complimented. Whenever we hear a negative, we multiply it 100-fold. Our policemen have been doing a very good job. There is some section of the government that have been doing very well, you know. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, good day.
Go right ahead, my brother.
Well, I don't even think you recognize how important is your program, because Red FM has been given the most information to this country as a radio station, and you people have been talking about your program as a #1 program. You give them a chance to speak. You give them a chance, as you will say, punch. You, Real FM has been doing a very good job. Also, Andre and Master Carl, the country need information. So I think, because imagine Andre bringing Anthony Boston, the economist, to speak about the pension, because Anthony Boston is the economist and he have a knowledge about it. So Andre bring him in on his program sometime last week to explain to the people the relevance of this thing, because some people don't understand. They don't understand. Some of them don't even do for pension. But they don't know. They believe they do for pension because they hear pension is paid. They believe they qualify. So I think, I want to congratulate you. You have been doing a very, very, very good program. And we wish you hold on to 91.9, because people have been calling me and telling me they love Mr. Pierre program. So I don't know if you know about it, but I get in that all where I go.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we basically try to provoke discussion. We don't have answers. We form our opinion on any issue. Once I'm comfortable with a subject matter, I'm going to express my opinion in it. But I always say opinion are not facts. And this is why if you're sick, you may not want to hear my opinion. You may want a doctor. And even when you go to the general practitioner, if you have a problem dealing with gynecology, maybe your womb or your uterus or something, he's going to send you to a specialist. And the specialist's opinion would have more weight than the bush doctor. So this is why education is so important in our country, and experience. But it's important for us to express reviews because Grenada have the most radio station perhaps in the region. And democracy is alive and well. I see my brother Clint Williams. He said there is no SSU in the region. It is the RSS, Regional Security Service. Thank you, my brother. That is what I mean. The RSS. I forgot. I thought it was SSU. Very, very sorry. And I want to thank my brother Clint Williams for correcting me immediately. We're not perfect people. We're going to make mistakes, and we must help one another. Welcome, Colin.
What's up, Mr. Pierre? Good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
I love what you say there, Mr. Pierre. Opinions are not facts. This is why anytime I come to any program in the media, I usually do my research before I can come with facts and not opinion. Many people think that opinions are facts, but you have to do your research so you can come with the facts. I always say I never like to give opinions of things. Mr. Pierre, this one going to be ticklish, but bear with me. Because, Mr. Pierre, next Monday, August 1st, they say that they are celebrating Emancipation Day. They say August 1st, I think it's 1834. That's the African slave got abolishment of slavery in 1834. So next Monday, that's Monday coming, they will be celebrating Emancipation Day. This is what they say, quote-unquote, so-called Emancipation Day. But Mr. Pierre, when I look at it, Mr. Pierre, all due respect to the people, I don't think black people are emancipated fully, because when black people are still, millions of black people are still waiting for Jesus to come, so I don't understand how they could be emancipated. As I say, it's a kind of ticklish thing. I don't want to get into it, but I have to get into it.
I always say to you, if you don't want to get in it, don't get into it.
And
hold on a while. But if you call the program an issue and you taking on religion, you getting into it. So why not one day call the program and let's talk?
Right. Okay. Let's
it's always important, because the majority of Grenadians are Christians. You have billions of Christians. You have people that don't believe in religion. They are atheists. Some people don't believe in Christianity. But when you jump on Christianity, you have a lot of people that want to respond to it.
And that's what you are saying, Mr. Pierre. Well, anyway, I have to get into it. I have to. So anyway, Mr. Pierre, what I'm saying, because when I look at it, Mr. Pierre, how black people could say that they are emancipated and they are still waiting for Jesus to come, I don't understand that. Because, Mr. Pierre, when they say Jesus is coming soon, what they are referring to a slave ship named Jesus Christ of Labet. That is the same slave ship that go down to Africa with all different pirates like Francis Drake and Henry Morgan and these guys, and them go down in Africa with the slave ship named Jesus Christ of Labet. So when they say Jesus Christ coming soon, literally what they're talking about a slave ship. Look again, in Emancipation Day, they say let's start it with a church service. And when you look at the Christian church have been literally involved with slavery. The church make a fortune from the slave trade. And how could they say go in the church and start emancipation with a service? And the church was literally involved with the slave trade. The church make a fortune from the slave trade. So they go all over the world and set up a big religious empire. So how could they say that you are emancipated fully? So black people need to emancipate themselves from mental slavery, Mr. Pierre, because what I say, mental slavery worse than physical slavery. And I will leave that to Mr. Pierre. You have a nice day. One love.
Okay. Thank you, caller. Yes, the question of religion will always have serious contradictions and conflicts. It's a question of belief. Some people don't believe in Christianity, and they don't believe in the Bible. And no matter what you say, they will object. Some people don't realize that Islam was participating in slavery in Africa before the Europeans. Some people don't know that Rome once also colonized England. Almost every race of people, every ethnic group, there are some excesses in crimes. And you cannot go around the world righting every wrong in history. Whether it's the Chinese, whether it's the Europeans, whether it's the Africans themselves, have been fighting and conquering one another, the Caribs, the Arabs. So in our society today, we are much more responsible. You're much more likely to bring people to justice for excesses. And when we're speaking about emancipation, we're not speaking about religion. We're speaking about the actions of slavery. But obviously, the devil could always cite scripture for its purpose. You know? So it's a topic that we could go on and on with it. And if you don't believe in Christianity at all, it's hardly worth having the discussion. Because if I come up with the Bible, you're going to tell me, white man that write that, you don't believe in that. So, you know, it's a question of belief. I am, and we differ there. Yes. So, you know, it is important for the elders in society to always prepare to have discussion. And I believe that is one of the challenges we have in Grenada and other Caribbean islands. We tend not to have family discussion. If we develop the culture of discussing issues with our family, we might be much better. We could stay away from the controversial issues. Those issues that are going to have a lot of controversies, put it in the fridge for a while and work with those you think that would have less contradictions. Take, for instance, the health of the family, the education system in the family. Everybody is interested in education. What role the father could play in educating the child. What role the mother should play. And you could sit down and discuss it with the children, particularly if you have older children that can participate. Because they can come in with the technology. And irrespective of the academic level of the father, sometimes we tend to say the parents are bright, so they can't help the children. That's not true. A father perhaps could teach the child the names of the villages in the parish. A simple thing like that. That might create a lot of excitement. Because I'm certain the mother doesn't know all the villages in the parish. But if the father is working construction, is a bus driver, a bus conductor, is a salesperson, if the father moved from a lot of different communities, you might surprise to know that he knows the name of a lot of places in the parish. He may not be able to spell it, so don't embarrass him with that. The woman sometimes could spell better than the father. In some cases. In addition to that, if you have adult children you could use the telephone book or Google, and you could get cardboard and write down the name. So over a period of time, because the children going to school with children from different communities, that is a way to keep conversation that is not necessarily controversial. If the father is a fisherman, he could teach the children 20 fish. And if you get a fisherman talking, they have so much beautiful stories. The woman might even proud of the man. Because sometimes he excited to and tell you how much time he nearly drowned in sea. Sometimes he started to feel sorry for him. And sometimes he like that. So to create better harmony in our homes. You know, it's so easy for those who are tertiary educated, who are professionals, to abandon the community and for us to feel that we cannot help. But these little things could be discussed, and you're surprised to know what your little children would tell you. They may tell you, well, let us buy food grade substance in school. They know it's food grade substance. And if the shop selling it and they get it at a sale, they won't complain. Because things so bad, if they get it at a sale, one schoolboy buy 10 packets. And if they're making money in school, then that is good. That means that little boy is a businessman, an entrepreneur. We could change these things. Because when weed is legalized, and it will be legalized, they didn't say decriminalizing it. They said they're legalizing it. So when they legalize it, people have their land. You can't tell them not to cut down the tree bees. And you can't tell them don't plant weed, because it's legalized. And we have a freehold, a lot of freehold where land is concerned. So we could plant what we want. That might help government in the transformation of agriculture. Cocoa price might rise because it might have less cocoa to market and more weed. And then you might have more consumption of weed. May, particularly in the transition period from legalization to realization, that transition period might be unknown. And you may have increase in consumption of the substance before anybody able to come in and bring in standards. The parents who are caught with their pants down, the children might stand the consequences. So I respond because my brother was appalled that I could say 8 and 9-year-old children might be selling weed or weed products. Now, don't expect the majority of people in Grenada to turn to consuming weed. That won't happen. The percentage of children that get involved in the school, you're surprised to know, is less than 10%. We make a lot of noise when we have 1 or 2 incidents. But it's less than 10% of the children that may get involved. But the impact and the influence, particularly in rural communities, could be devastating. If you have young children consume too much of fudge, because when you digest marijuana, it seems to have a greater impact than when you smoke it for a longer period. And it's important for parents to know that, because a lot of parents never consume weed or don't know about it. And when we have the legalization, during that transition period from legalization to realization, you could have serious consequences, you know. And I think they're taking this one from the Facebook. Hope the government start a reconstruction on Carlton House in order to facilitate these marijuana users. Make no mistake, there'll be loads of admission. Well, not even for marijuana, but I think greater emphasis have to put on rehabilitation. The police in Grenada said there was a serious drop in the incidents of predial larceny. Sometimes we don't compliment the Grenada police at all. More and more, I have to make mention of them. They said there was a serious drop, is 3% of the crimes. Sometimes when you hear farmers talk, you think it's 50% crime. And I ask, what percentage of these 3%, the demographics, who is involved? How many people are known to consuming coke? Because coke is one of the drugs that contribute to people stealing and selling the things that they have. They will sell the cylinder you're cooking with. And later, if you have no cylinder, well, you hardly have use for stove. So they will sell the cylinder first. What percentage of that 3% of the crime? People who get involved in it are involved in consumption of coke. The police knows they could compile these demographics. So the need for rehabilitation center is very important and critical. There are a number of instances in the society where you have young men in particular are involved in predial larceny and petty thieves. And the whole village know the boy on coke. And sometimes they're very sorry. Sometimes a lot of people give him a break because it's Miss Jane child and she trying still. And then generally they are very helpful and nice. But the only thing, they're going to steal to get a fix. I ask a coke partner, how much you just take a day? He tell me it depends on how much money you have. Yeah. He says sometimes 9, 10, or 11. If he have money, he doesn't stop. He take it. Because every time they get a fix, it lasts for a little while and they're looking for another one. And it could be a sorry sight and a sorry state in our country. We cannot close our eyes. A lot of parents tend to have the belief that I have it well locked down. My child is not involved in that. But little do they know, their child might be the spouse of my child. Or is sometimes the neighbor child is the one that break open your place. And sometimes your daughter like the neighbor's son. Whether he's taking drug or not, she feels sorry for him. And you have to deal with a grandchild. So it should be the concern of everybody in the community to do what they could to make the situation better. Marijuana will be legalized. And don't surprise before the end, because the manner in which the National Democratic Congress speak, it means they have exhausted discussion on it. And they are not putting no bill to decriminalize. They say they're legalizing. Another aspect that must be discussed or should discuss, whether the Rasta man. So now I'm sorry for Rasta. Rasta makes so much noise over the years about legalizing weed. Now that weed will be legalized, Rasta, you go make money from weed? It's a very important thing to ask yourself. Maybe the time had come for you to form yourself into some cooperative where you could try to benefit from the legalization of weed. In some countries, it's Canadian and Chinese companies that come and develop mega projects for putting weed on the market as medicinal herbs. But in Grenada, most likely it will be legalized. So I think it's very important for some level of discussion to be taking place to find out what ways the Rasta is going to benefit from weed. I would like to hear Cultureman's views on that. Cultureman always on agriculture. Whether or not he go choose to plant a little weed. And if he's thinking about how he's going to make money from weed, we might be in a better position Because the Rastaman in some other countries, because it is decriminalized and legalized for medicinal purpose, they ain't making no money. The big firms, the big companies come and deal with it. But in Grenada, from all indication, it'll be legalized. So the Rastaman could make a money. And if that is so, the Rastaman must gear themselves. Some of you have land. But it might be important to work together to obtain the necessary finances to be competitive on the job market. Because that is important, you know. One of the biggest challenge we have in small countries is the lack of our ability to be competitive on the job market, on the market, not the job market, in the marketplace. We are so small, economy and scale, and the products we are producing become very expensive. Take an example. A pound of pumpkin in Grenada might be over $2. Now, why pumpkin should be selling for $2? Obviously, few people plant pumpkin and they want a lot of money for it. But what is it cost to produce a pound of pumpkin? Maybe about 50 cents a pound. Maybe about 50 cents. But if you buy it wholesale at $2, it could be anything above $2. And it means less people are going to consume pumpkin. So it might be easier for St. Vincent or Trinidad to sell pumpkin to us than we to sell to them. And it goes on to the point of the economy of scale. Don't believe that it will be anything different with weed. If we are not unique, if we're not able to be surgical, to have a niche market, and to be competitive on the market, we will be disadvantaged. Our Rasta brothers principally consume weed through smoking, inhalation, through smoking. So whether weed legalized or not, the Rastaman go get his split. When it is legalized, you wouldn't necessarily have more to smoke, but you want to make a money from it. So I always believe that some discussion should take place among the Rasta community, and they should be brainstorming in what way they will be able to benefit in Grenada in the short term and medium term when weed is legalized. Because if they don't take the initiative, you could find big companies coming inside here, as is done in other countries, and they control the weed market. And you complaining again just as how we complain with nutmeg and banana. They don't give me nothing for me weed. Me weed can sell. You complaining again. You know, that is where governments should have been having quite a lot of discussion in it. The trade union, some of the lawyers who was presenting to the public that they are some defenders of weed. Since the discussion come on legalization, some of them have not heard their voice again. I've not seen them or heard about them in any dialogue with those individuals who traditionally involved in it. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, you know, okay, legalization of marijuana. Alright? With me, I totally against it. Well, you see, sometimes when we speak about the money is brilliant. But then we also look at the damage it could do to society. Right? Because a lot of people might say, okay, might have everything planted, shotgun crop planting. And when you legalize it, you see me, I would just put a sublet and go and plant marijuana. And you see, not everybody would want to plant. Right? When like we have people planting crops in the garden, and people go and tip in. So I do yes, you legalize it. Right? But then what if I have when some people do plant, people go and rob, and then that could be the upsurge of crime in a country. You understand? So I do believe we have to be careful what we encourage it to legalize marijuana. Legalize marijuana. And I know the government before they said that like if you hold a man with a two slave, you will put arrest and put him in prison for that. Because when you look at the consequence, two slave, what the cut of it, and when you put him in prison for that, he cut about the ratio to what you spend in prison is about the ratio of 1 to 20. You spend much more money to keep him in prison for two months than a weed is about $5 for so like $10 for him to split. Alright? So that we have to be careful. Alright? Because I see the crime of legalizing marijuana could be have an increase in crime. Because if you do farming, people plant things again and the other people they go around and thief. Everybody go plant. But then you got some people who are robbing from those who planting. Will be planting. So I do believe with that I totally against that, against it. I want to focus on again. One thing I want to focus on himself here. Is among parents. You know, because like as a Christian person, you know, sometimes what I do weekly something with encouraging parents to give their life to God, and then the first thing they go tell, they are closed. They are closed for to send it to the church. But then what if it happen? The same person tell that when carnival time reach, they go buy the most expensive clothes for the children to go and play carnival. Right? And they won't not go in carnival, but they go send the children and play. And the children come back home all 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the night, and they them they home. Some of them they will send the children in church, to church, but they stay home. I say as parents, you have to take a lead. You have to take a lead in doing what is right, and you accept Christ as Lord and Savior, because if you accept Christ as Lord and Savior, we have life and have it more abundantly. Right? We have to accept Christ because there is a God, and God is real, and God is real. And one thing I want to say again to Mr. Pierre, during as we celebrate Carnival, I want to also remember the Iranian people. We are in hurricane season, right? We have to every family should have a family plan, and every family plan involve everyone of the family. Never say that 5 year, 8 year, 9 year child too small, because you want to execute a plan with your family. Yes, my and dad might take sick. I want to try and do the plan, they can execute the plan. I want to also remind the people in every district, every constituency, the shelter, they must know where the shelters are. Because in case something happens, they know where to go to the way to go. So I want to say, don't think about kind of what we think about the future of the children. As we just said, after the carnival over, we still another day. There are things that we have to do. We have to buy our children's school book. Because what if I happen to pay some families, from time carnival over, they're preparing for the carnival the next year, and they're ignoring the children. And look at the children's education. I call upon everyone, fathers and mothers, buying the school books and school uniform. That's part. But you also have to, when they have PTA meeting, even if mother can...
I don't think they was bothered with that again. They still have PTA meeting.
Well, even they didn't have sport for like well.
They didn't have sport. I don't think they bothered with
need to come back. Need to come back so that the parents could know what's going on with the children in school.
I think we have to encourage parents to recognize that the children is theirs, and if they don't take care of the children are going to get left.
Yeah, because somebody.
And I always say 70% of the children that exit secondary school cannot meet the minimum requirement. And I think once parents follow their kids, the children will do well.
Yeah,
yes, come. Thank you.
Okay, right, later.
Yeah, I'm on the firm view that between 0 and 12 years, you could manage that easily, irrespective of the level of education you have, even if you can't read and write, is the environmental support that you provide for your child between 0 and 12 years. Once you do that, your child will do well in school. You don't even have to waste time bothering what they do in school. Once you do your part and you start early as 5 years, your child will do well in school. There's no question about that. And your child might better able to deal with the challenges that he would have to encounter. He may have to encounter marijuana forge. And if you sit down and have the habit, the culture of discussing issues with your children, they may well be better. Remember, some of them are able to deal with alcohol easily. Although you have some people sell rum, don't mean the children go drink rum. They understand, because these things have been with us for a very long time. And some children know, they have seen the impact of alcohol, and they know that if they consume, what would happen to them if they consume excessive. But some of the children don't accustomed with weed. And they'll meet weed in the school in terms of fudge. They will meet it in food. And the sister call you and tell you how good weed was out to her in the form of drink. Yes, we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Morning, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Mr. Pierre, this administration, people all this week and last week or what, you see people walking on the road for the children to go back to school after August Carnival. You don't see not now, you know, Mr. Pierre. You don't see nobody day walk on the road, you know.
Well, let us face it. I don't think this new administration supported all these activities that went on the road. In all fairness to them, they gave the debushing program a lot of blows. They thought that government was using it for handout. They thought the people involved was unproductive. So you have to give them a chance to see what they would come up with. I don't expect to see all these people involved in debushing, because this new administration condemned it excessively. They thought it was only used for political purposes. And they thought you couldn't subject people to a job only in debushing. That is why they campaign on making jobs permanently and getting alternatives. So we have to give the government a chance. So people are going to have to hold on and wait a while.
And people starving?
People not starving. They doesn't starve so. Let's face it. They don't have money to spend. That is not true. You see, we are always projecting this issue. The election just done 1 month ago. And there was some work going on. There was a lot of work going on. Some people still have their contract and they're going to finish it. But the new government said they're going to transform things. So you have to give them a chance to see what they're coming up with. I don't think they're going to bother to have all these people in debushing, because they slammed these programs quite a lot. But you must give them a chance. They don't even have a meeting in Parliament yet. They're trying to get things in place. So you have to have a little tolerance and give them a couple months. Maybe about 3 or 6.
Well, let me watch and see what it is.
Yeah, you have to watch them. Give them a break. Okay. Pray for them to get it right. And give them a break. Yes, scholar. It's important, because we have to believe as a people we could change things. I think this is the most important point I constantly be. It's not a question that Grenada is in that bad position. Politicians like to do that when they're in the opposition. But electricity, telephone, water, and internet in Grenada is second to none in the Caribbean. is better than most, and it's comparable with the best. There is no child in Grenada, and I've been saying that on the radio for the past 7 years, could say that they cannot go to school because they don't have the basic requirements. This government say again, education is free. So you do have to pay. You know the revolution said education was free. Well, this government, some charges over the years come about. This government come and they say education free again. So there is no reason why our children cannot go to school and do well. The teacher to children ratio is better in Grenada than perhaps any other country, not Dominica. Dominica 1 children too. Dominica school, not Dominica. Dominica have a good ratio too. Dominica need to import some people. They don't have enough people in Dominica. In Grenada, we have about 1 teacher to about 15 to 20 children. And over 20% of our teachers drive themselves to school. The number of vehicles we had doubled over the last 10, 12 years. And the government had the social safety net program is about the best in the Caribbean. In addition to that, Grenada have the majority of Grenadians. They have the most landowners in the region. So this thing about Grenadians starving is not true. It is not true. Unless the person kind of mentally sick. But they're not starving. It's quite true they may not like able to buy the chicken that does make people big, big, big. But they're not starving. And we have to tell our people that. So they would not feel that they have to go away to get into greener pastures. We have green pastures here. Sometimes the pastures are cloaked up in work clothes. And people bypass these opportunities. You know, over the years, we had more scholarship for Grenadian children than any other time in our history. So we're not starving. We could do better. And then we must give the government a break to see what they're going to do, because they say they're going to transform the place. So you have to look for the transformation. I don't think they will bother with all this road work, this debushing. They may have some more fantastic ideas to get people involved and more opportunities for permanent jobs, because that is what was advocated. And we're very happy for those who contribute with us on Facebook. We always welcome you and glad you're with us. And you could always share our program. You know, we would be very happy if you share our program. And we're happy to have you. And I'm glad for the correction with the RSS, the Regional Security Service. This is a service that has been established throughout the Caribbean, and Caribbean can use it to assist them in their security endeavors in the Caribbean. We want to thank you very much, and we're back with you again tomorrow between 12 and 1, and you have an opportunity to make your contribution and punch.